Alright, it's finally time to show you our filing system and how we store all the data and take the data and all the programs and stuff like that. So let's take a look. So I used to track all of Xander's data in binders, like big frickin' 4-inch binders, and it got to a point where I had binders for everything and I just snapped one day. I was probably PMSing, you know, who knows, but I just couldn't handle it anymore, and hence the hanging files were born. So they're listed in alphabetical order by the program name. So you can see we're working on all sorts of stuff. This is stuff we do every day with Xander. We're working on actions and categories, conversation, counting, gestures, functions, letters, locations, numbers, occupations, phonics, prepositions, opposites, sight reading, self-help stuff, verbal imitations. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there I didn't mention, but you get the picture, you can read. And then within each program, sometimes we're running it in multiple types of formats. So some is receptive, some is expressive, and you know, in another post I'll actually explain all of that stuff. So you can see that's what the manila folders are for. They're the different formats for each program. And then what we do is we have what we call our, what would you call it? A checklist, basically, and this matches the filing cabinet. It's in the same order. So there's the program name and there's the format. Program name and there's the 3 different formats. So the tutors come in and they run their programs, and we track the percent he got correct, the percent he got prompted, and then when the next tutor comes in, they look for maybe what the other tutor didn't do, and that's where they usually start. And then they try and fill in some of the blanks. And we just back each other up. So let's pull conversation real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You can see the dreaded data sheets. So for every program we run with Xander, every time we sit down with him, we track the number of responses he gives us that are correct, the number that are incorrect, and whether or not we had to prompt him on that response. The ultimate goal, if ABA is being done correctly, is to eventually fade all of your prompts. And that's where the problem for some people comes in, where it doesn't work quite right because they're working with people who don't fade their prompts correctly. And you actually can make somebody prompt dependent. I mean, it's not, when you hear that stuff, that is a reality if you're working with the wrong people. So anyway, we do this. It looks like he did not so great today, but not too bad either. He got about 60% correct, 20% prompted. Dad is his newest target, so usually when we start something new, the numbers go down. I expect that within 2 days we'll probably be up to about 85% consistently. And then in the back of all of my folders, when new tutors come in, I have the target list stapled in the back there. So you can see when we very first introduce something, and then when it's mastered. So his name, you can see, took him 2 years to learn to respond and say his own name when asked what his name was. That's a long time, so we've put a lot of work into that. But that's our filing system, and that's how we track everything. The only other thing I guess I could show other folks that made it easier when I have new tutors come in, anything with a little smiley face is a program that we need 2-dimensional stimuli, which is pictures and stuff like that. And then anything with a Toy Story is usually something that we use 3D objects for. So that, folks, is how we track our data. And one of these days I will run a program, and then you can watch me track the actual data afterwards, so it makes more sense. Talk to you later.